I spend time online, and I feel like I'm actively participating in the awareness, right? I get online and I rant all the time. And you talk about Facebook and you can't change opinion. I don't know about Facebook, but there are other places I am where I have a presence, and I rant about these kinds of issues and control of the government and the oligarchy, where we don't have a voice in the government. And I do feel that I'm making people aware that when I have arguments with people that go, no, the government cares about us and is protecting us, and I have arguments with them going, they don't give a goddamn shit about us.
They care about corporations and are protecting them, and that can be like actually proven.
Right, that's my point. You have so much evidence to describe this and to show it, that I do feel like I am having an influence, me specifically and personally, not just because I'm some kind of demagogue, but because you can make an argument, a fitting, reasoned argument that is the truth, that the government doesn't damn care at all about us, and that we are subjects to a global
we're subjects,
oligarchy.
like British subjects,
yeah, literally,
or Nestle subjects.
And I feel like I'm making an impact on the people, that there is general awareness growing, and that I specifically, along with many others, are making people individually aware. Hey, are you aware that you were just a subject? Are you aware that you don't have a say in the government? I can point to certified statistical analyses about how our voice is not represented in this government, but the 0.1% voice is. And people are becoming aware. So I get the sense that over time it could be, because the people ultimately have power, right? So it could be that if you have enough people recognize the reality that we live in, there could actually be some change. I have a slim glimmer of hope that there might be change, and that hope is based on that new generation that's not indoctrinated into what is, and they have active questions as to why is it like that. I don't need to be like that. I don't need to go
why
to
can't it be this or that?
Why can't it be that?
Where online other than Facebook do you post?
I am a frequent contributor on Live Leak is the website. Live Leak. I've ever sent you a video from there?
Oh no! You do videos of yourself?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, so
shit,
Live Leak
I should get on there.
Yeah, you should. Actually, that'll be a good place for you. It's a very radical place. A lot of radical ideas. And actually a really good mixing ground. There's a lot of conservatives on there who are hard statists. There's a lot of liberals on there who are hard statists.
What about libertarians?
There's a lot of that's the group I'm talking about.
Okay.
The growing awareness.
My buddy Marley, the composer, is a libertarian. She's like, if you voted, you'd be a libertarian. If you are a libertarian, you just call yourself that. I'm like, I don't like roads.
Right. Yeah. So that's the group I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's the and not even just politically libertarian, but just libertarian philosophically. Like, just don't fuck with me. I don't need to be governed.
Don't tread on me.
Yeah.
It is the early American colonists. Yeah.
That was the early libertarians. Just
and now
fuck off.
the fucking right-wing Republicans use the "Don't tread on me" flag.
Right.
It's like, you don't even know what the fuck it means.
Don't tread on me because I'm treading on you.
Yeah. Don't tread on me because I'm going to tread on you if you don't go to church.
Right. Right. Exactly. So I do see that. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off, because it's going to require effort and commitment. And the counter argument, the counter push is, we want to dull your senses with bullshit television and football games and sports and entertainment and our bullshit
political theater.
Yeah, political theater, like Hillary. We're gonna have her sit down in a cafe.
We've voted for the first black president, so now we got to vote for a woman. It's like, how simplistic. Like,
that's exactly. We were very
what about the content of your character, not the color of your skin?
That's the battlefront. The minds of the young people who see the emperor without clothes, and the media corporations who are going, oh no, he's totally clothed. He's clothed in all kinds of clothes.
He's got his uniform on. No, he's got his costume on.
Right.
It's not a uniform.
Right, his costume.
But you know where doing it, and you know, Rome wasn't destroyed in a day. By us making statements online, that's first contact, that's first step. But by doing art, making photos or collages or paintings, they like to have you think that that shit ain't powerful or important, when in fact, like if you look at simple logos, they're black magic sigils, and they work. They don't want people to know how much power they have. So when you blabber on the internet, or I blabber on the internet and I get into fights with people, that's fine. But when I create an artifact that creates a symbol that represents some of the things that you were talking about and I'm talking about, whether it be libertarian or radical thought, that hits your fucking mind. That the mind thinks in symbols, language is a symbol. And it doesn't matter what PR spin doctors say about like Leba is fat, bald, drunken guy and don't listen to what he says. But you can't ignore what I make. You don't have to like me, but what I make actually communicates to people on a higher level through symbol, which is very powerful, and creating artifacts that the next generation we can speak to, like a lot of graffiti artists have done.
What's the word? It creates the gathering point, the identification, right? Something to identify with, the movement, right? Well, like the Nazis had the bent cross, which they stole from the Indians, I guess, right?
It's a 5,000-year-old symbol that is the most universal symbol
but they used
in the world. They used it,
and that galvanized,
used in all
that
cultures.
became their identity, right? It was a gathering force of people identifying themselves with this symbol. The Nazis, basically, the German Nazis, because you can throw all these words and concepts around, right? But you can't just go to everybody and just spit all this out. But when you put that symbol up, you know, people are like, this is our identity. This is the hive thing, essentially.
Yeah, and there's the negative and positive to the hive. So if you look at the Nazis, there was like this dark negative side, but galvanizing people with a symbol and a philosophy and idea and follow through, like we were talking earlier, people forget that we wouldn't have modern rocket technology or genetics or a lot of the sciences if it wasn't for
those guys, right? It's a very powerful movement. It was, and it had obviously its negative consequences, but they accomplished quite a bit. That those people were extremely motivated. So, in a sense, you are taking advantage of the human instinct to congregate around the symbol of power.
Yeah, so whether you use it for an ideal like the Nazis or what America used to be,
freedom,
or hey, buy this candy bar or Coca-Cola, it's a very powerful thing that multinational corporations don't want us to know that we have that power.
One of the symbols I'm well familiar with is the atheist symbol. Have you seen that one? It's the A,
no.
The script A. I don't remember exactly what it was.
I didn't know they had a symbol.
Yeah, if you wait, it's either the atheist or the anarchy. Have you seen the anarchy one? They're similar.
Yeah, I know the anarchy one. Yeah.
So I'm getting them confused now. Which is
it doesn't mean anus. It means atheism or anarchy.
Anal, subculture smell. So you could. Theirs is probably a round symbol.
Because their asshole's an exit wound and not an entry wound.
No, there's an entry wound. But so right in the art culture, there is power. There is power in symbology and in visual imagery, which people can congregate around. So really, the messaging that you create through your art, you're exactly right. That's a concentrating force towards that movement that is kind of unstructured right now. Because liberty by itself is kind of unstructured. When you say, I don't want to follow you, I don't want to do what you're telling me to do, it's hard to congregate with other people and go, we together as a force don't want to do what you're telling us to do. It's hard to do that. So you're almost providing that ability to identify with others. You know, we're all individually going to defy the powers that are trying to force us down this road. So there's a tension, a strange tension between you're providing them a consolidating identity while at the same time preserving their individual identity. But that's where you're involved, and I'm kind of helping you on with that.
It reminds me of a quote by William S. Burroughs, and he said, "There'll be no more Hitlers, there'll be no more Stalins." I don't remember exactly what thing he wrote, or if it was just a quote that he said, but Burroughs fans are like almost like fucking Steve Jobs, like you know, Apple fans. They're like, I actually got to spend a whole day with Burroughs and had a correspondence with him, so I know what he meant when he said there'll be no more Hitlers, there'll be no more Stalins. So the powers that be realized you can't have one actual leader. We don't have any real leaders, no actual like leaders. The president's not a real leader. He's a cheerleader. We don't have a Stalin, we don't have a Hitler, because they learned, whoa, we can't control this guy.
Right.
You know, we can throw money at him, but that he's like, he believes in his vision. Stalin believes in his vision.
Right.
So it doesn't matter that he owes us some money because we gave him money to kill like 90,000 people.
Right.
So they're like, okay, we can't have anybody with any real power anymore.
Right.
But they cannot put the wool over everybody's head about people thinking symbols. And whether they completely understand the symbol or not, there's the connotation, the denotation, there's a physical, psychological, emotional effect. And art can still create a symbol. And it's very difficult to do that in our time because it's hard to make a single image. It's hard to have the melting clock dolly, or the last symbolic images that affected everybody were like those horrible images in Vietnam. The kids screaming napalm, the guy blowing the other guys.
Yeah,
you can't make that kind of image now with a single image, but you can do that with a series. Like have several people work on a theme and create images around the fact that multinational corporations are more paranoid than the people now, and we're at a pivotal point where we can fight them with symbols. Because that invokes people to get off their fucking couch, get their fucking butterfingers out of their mouth, and go fucking do something. Because
I see that. I see the potential. I see the potential.
Whether people will be motivated or not, and artists typically seem to go where the money is and the hot chicks and stuff. But when you can't get a glass of fucking water, and I have friends that are drinking sludge now in LA.
Right.
And something's up. So when these corporations start telling you you can't have a glass of water, then all bets are off. I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, when it comes close to home and your grandma she's gonna die because she can't fucking, she doesn't have $50 to fucking buy 5 ounces of H2O,
Right.
and she doesn't have a laboratory to make it in, she's fucked.
Right.
They're gonna go, yes, Nestle, yes, Nestle.
That's where the balance tips. When we're all fat and happy, it's hard to generate the political commitment to make change happen. But when you're hungry and thirsty and cold, that's where the tipping point happens.
And it's getting real close. And what people aren't seeing is these multinational corporations are doing what basically the opulent of the world are realizing that there's finite natural resources, and if I have to give up any of this because some fucking rednecks in Everett or asshole liberals in San Francisco, I'm not going to. They have to die.
Right.
I'm gonna have that glass of water. I don't care if like a million grannies don't get their 5 ounces of water. I need my fucking Perrier from Nestle. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Exactly right.
And they know it. They know it.
Yeah.
So the face of the corporation, which is Mussolini's dream, because pure like fascism is corporatism, has worked, and it has reached that point where it will not function as it is now. It will have to evolve or perish, as will everyone.
Yeah. I believe it. I think, you know, if it doesn't happen now, it will eventually. What I mean by now is this new generation coming in.
If we create the symbols and the art and talk to them and they have this discussion, you don't have the discussion. That's what they don't want to have. They want to like trivialize and discredit people and marginalize people. And they think if they don't throw $1 million at some brilliant artist so they could be the next Madonna or Andy Warhol, that they'll just die in obscurity. But the world don't work that way now.
No.
You can still, a nobody can talk to a lot of people through symbols and creations.
Yes, it could be that that's the other part, that I believe that the internet is going to provide that the outlet and the communicating conduit for organization, right? Because power is through organization of mass. Like when you like the Egyptians when they had their revolt. They didn't have the internet as powerful as we do, but they did have the anger of the masses and the TV images of them grouping together and fighting against the oppression of the military, their militaristic government, and they were clashing, but there was power in the mass of the people. Like, you could see it. Like they were. I remember images of.
You can see it in their faces.
Yeah, it was on this bridge, and the military were throwing gas canisters, or launching gas canisters at the mass of people who were demonstrating. And I started to see the tip of balance of power when the people started throwing the gas canisters back at the military. You could see these things flying, and there was more clouds of smoke on the military side.
Yeah, see, that needs to be the symbol, like in the 60s, the flower and the rifle.
Exactly.
But it's like, yeah, when the levee breaks, there'll be nowhere for these multinationals to go. They'll die.
It's just a tipping point, and it's a balance. And right now, they have the power. Right now, they own the governments and the politicians and the product.
Well, that's fine. That's been the history of humankind. But the unique thing in our time as being, you know, Americans of the United States is these motherfuckers say, yeah, we don't call them just the police, we call them the law enforcement, and we'll shoot you in the back,
right,
unarmed for whatever, because you didn't pay your, you know, you're 5 cents short on your fucking, you know, payment for the bus.
Right.
But it's like unique unto the world that the one country now where they're saying, yeah, we're militarizing the police, and everyone's like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we're using drones so you don't have to like have a trial or jury or arrest, just kill you. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's the latest technology. Technology is always inherently good and used for good.
We're right. We're surveilling everybody all the time.
Boring.
That's cool. That's cool.
No, it's not cool. It's fucking boring. I wish Joe Blow would do something interesting, because I gotta like watch him all the time. I mean, the people go out there and do something. You're watched all the time. Cameras everywhere. Fucking, like, shake them up a little bit. Do something creative. Stop doing the same old fucking shit. Scratching your ass crack at 5 o'clock every fucking morning.
We did that when we went and shot with the 4 nude girls.
Woo!
And
I hear it happens.
yes. And we gave them something to actually be interested in watching on the security cameras.
But you got a lot of flack on the internet.
I did.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
I was just a model and I got all kinds of flack. You're the creator.
I got flack too for shooting it.
It's like, that's not art, it's like a cheesy heavy metal cover.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm like, really? I thought it was pretty creative.
Yeah, but some dude on the DL is like in a terrible marriage with a terrible job and wishes he could go suck cock outside of Denny's or, you know, have sex with beautiful art school girls, but now he's got like the ugly wife and has to report to duty at 9.
So he was angry. Angry at our freedom. He hated us for our freedom.
Yeah, see, that's, yes. By definition. Dario Impini, Leba, this is why the terrorists hate us.